بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على كل أمور الدنيا والدين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ونور قلوبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نوينا التعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير ونفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومرسل صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. بسم الله. We are going back to Khuluquna, inshallah. And no, inshallah, we're going back to. Uh, no, hold on, let me just get the book. Okay, okay, so we're going back to Khuluquna, and we're actually going into a very interesting part about Khuluquna, which speaks about um it speaks about the types of people. Mhm. Right, so we're at the part whereby mashallah, we're at the part whereby wala nad'u okay, تمام. we're the part whereby ندعو العباد إلى الله بالصدق والإخلاص والرفق واللين والترغيب والترهيب والقول والعمل. مم. نبذل فيه ذلك غاية الجهد. Already. Then the next one ولا ندعو فرصة لدعوتهم إلى مولاهم إلا اغتنمناها ولا نريد منهم جزاء ولا شكورا إن أجرنا إلا على الذي فطرنا. قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين. مم. ونتصدق كل يوم بما تيسر وإن قل. Okay. Where are we at? Before that, eh? Mm, mm. Okay. I think we are at Natana Akashu and okay, we're there. Sorry, we've done all of this. We're the last point there because then we go right into the different types of human beings around us, right? So we were at the point whereby Natana Akashu wa natabahasu ونترك مجادلة من لا يكون قصده الاهتداء إلى سبيل الحق بل تسلط عليه هواه فلا يريد إلا أن ينتصر لرأيه مهما كان. Right, so we're at the point here where he says that we should, discuss things with people, right? Do research about things, right? And we should leave argumentation, especially with those who you can sense from them that they don't actually want guidance to the path of truth, but they have been afflicted by their own nafs, right, by their own hawa, and by their own inclinations, and so they do not want to hear anything except to hear that their point of view is correct. And so once you have identified that someone is not interested in the truth, that they're not interested in the truth, that is interested to argue with you, then don't engage. Just don't engage. That is the adab. And it is the adab. Okay, so now we are going into it. Anas amamana wahidun min arba. As the people whom we encounter, the people who are in front of us, those whom we encounter, they are one of four types. And the first type, شخص آمن موقنا وصدق مطمئنا وهب يعمل جا جادا في طريق إيمانه وتحقيق مبدئه باذلا غاية الجهد وأقصى المستطاع فهو منا ونحن منه ونعاضده ونضع أيدينا في أيديه سائرين على منهج الرعيل الأول ولن يصلح آخر هذه الأمة إلا بما صلح به أولها. Right, so the first question here, or the first group of human beings, right, so we're going to treat as human beings. And why is Habib going through this? He's going through this because he just spoke about the type of human beings, right, who, when you meet them and you encounter them, they're not actually seeking the truth, but they're seeking to argue, they're seeking to create problems, they're seeking to. So then he goes into a discussion about knowing the types of human beings that you meet. And when you can identify the types of human beings that you meet, you will know how do you respond to them appropriately. And that is basically part of our etiquette with the creation of human beings, right? So if you could, identify what kind of human beings that who are around you, you will know how to respond to them. And you get me, eh? You get me. You need to know how to read human beings. I read human beings well. This does not mean that you're having souls one, you're having a better opinion. No, but you're just being practical. Okay, be practical on what these human beings are, right? And especially after many times of interacting with these people, you should know, right, what they are after, what is their goal in life, what these people want. And afterward, if you know, yes, I know, what is her, or what is her inclination, or why is she, what does she want, what is her, you know intention, and so on and so forth. You can kind of read people's character, and you learn how to behave appropriately, and also you learn to know what to expect and what not to expect from people, right? And that actually helps you have tolerance. It helps you have positive a positive experience with people, right? And it helps you you know be able to also guard over yourself and your family at the same time, right? Know to what extent, right, that you can share things with a person, or speak to a person about, and so on and so forth, right? So basically, this is under wisdom. It's all under wisdom, and how you on how you are with people, right? To be able to know, so you don't end up doing stuff that would damage your relationship with that person, or damage, or even damage that person's relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so everything, and it has to be with ta'anni, everything has to be with hikmah. Like you have to do things, with calculated steps, and you have to do things, ta'anni, and is to look at something, to take calculated steps, yes, but to really ponder over things and to think over things. And it's not to just rush into things and just assume everybody's the same. No, people are not the same. People are different. So you have to, it is necessary that if you want to treat everyone and give everyone their rights, right, that you need to be able to read people, right? You need to be able to read people. And I'm not saying, of course, you know people, and of course you will not know people fully, right? But just from enough interaction, you kind of know where, where they're coming from, where they're headed, and really, their impact in your life and also your impact in their lives. And from there, you know how to maneuver the situation, right? Just continue to this situation. So the first group of people, the first of the four, Habib Omar is saying Imam Ghazali. Because Imam Ghazali does this all the time. Right? But Habib Omar, right? He identifies it's probably all from Imam Ghazali anyway. Right, so the first of the four, a person who believes that with certainty, and attests to truth without doubt. Or this is like the cream of the crop, the best of them. And if you can find these people, hold on to them. And just hold on to them. Okay, if you can find these people, like they have the strongest iman, they have the strongest aqidah, right? They are just so firm, unwavering. They are in the world and they are mountains, right? The world, no matter what the storm of the world, what storm of the world hits them, no matter what wind, no matter what storm, no matter what, no matter what comes their way, right? They don't budge from the religion. They don't budge, right, in their belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. راسخون, في العلم. Right, they are firm and grounded and rooted, in knowledge. You want to hold on to them, right? Because we are like swaying in the wind, right? Whatever comes our way in this world is like it's all affecting us. Everything affects us. Like we're so volatile, we're so unstable. Also, when you meet these people who are like literally they are mountains, which is why the scholars, they tend to be called mountains. They're mountains because they're so firm, like mountains. They're not affected, right, by the elements of nature, right? So no, mashallah. Right. So he sets out, so they believe with full yaqeen, right, with full yaqeen, right? And they are peaceful, they're completely, they're so, secure in their belief. Right, so secure in their belief, no matter what happens, around them, they will not budge at all. Right, like mountains they are. Right. So he sets out to practice his faith in earnest and in fulfillment of its principles. Right. So, it's really the unwavering, like he is not affected by anything that anyone says. Like he is doing his alright, or she's doing her alright, she's praying, she's fasting, she's doing what she does for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with no, not affected anything, by the people around them at all. Like they are firm people. He expends all of his efforts and abilities in his cause, in the cause of the religion. And he spends everything in his ability, his way, his health, his body, his mind, his everything he spends, like placing in the way of truth, in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. He strives and to his utmost, in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such people, they are from us and we are from them. And Habib Omar, mashallah. I said he did such people, right? We want to be completely involved with them. And we want to be completely together with them. Right? We want to have place our hands in their hands. Right? They put here in English, they give the meaning of his support such a person and display allegiance towards him in imitation of the way of our predecessors, right? So here, Habib, he mentions that, that he says that such people, such people who they give their lives to the religion, فَهُوَ مِنَّا وَنَحْنُ مِنْهُ. Right, we are together. Right, we are together with them. Inshallah, inshallah. We place ourselves, together. وَنُعَاضِدُهُ, and we support them. وَنَضَعُ أَيْدِينَا فِي أَيْدِيهِ, and we place our hands in theirs. In the sense that we have them lead us. We place our hands in theirs, and we have them lead us. We have them take us by the hands, right, and lead us in this world. So if you find these people, don't let go, right? Don't let go. You find these people like in this world, and they do exist, of course, they do exist. There are many of them, in fact, in this world. Once you find them, you hold on to them so strongly. And to go on the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah's as the I think this is in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, last statement. So it's not distinguished, right? But no, it is a statement from Imam Malik. The Imam said this from Imam Malik, um bin Anas, right? And some of them said, Nam. Okay, it's from the from Imam Qadi Iyad, right? So in the book Ash-Shifa, but it's actually a statement from Imam Malik, the last statement there, right? So the last statement there is, the last of this ummah will not be set aright except through the observance of that which is the reason for the good of the first of them. What does that mean? Right? So وَلَنْ يَصْلُحَ آخِرُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ إِلَّا بِمَا صَلُحَ بِهِ أَوَّلُهَا. Right? So which means that the last of this ummah, I mean those at the end of time, so our time, yani, the last of this ummah, it will not be rectified except by what rectified the first of this ummah. Right? So the first of his ummah are the Sahaba. Right. So what were the traits that rectified the Sahaba? And what was the way of the Sahaba? What was the Iman of the Sahaba? What were the practices of the Sahaba? Right. So whatever rectified the Sahaba, right? Those things are these are the only things that will rectify our ummah right now today. Right? So basically what I'm saying here is that there are people who will walk on the face of the earth, in our zaman, in fact, in every zaman. And this goes back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his statement, right, that every zaman, there will be people of the caliber of the Sahaba. Idea there will be people of the caliber of the Sahaba. And that is from the fairness and from the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That there are people, right, that they are of the caliber of the Sahaba, they have the Iman of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, they are of that level. Right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delayed their emergence onto this earth. Allah delayed their existence on this earth, right, to allow them to exist in different time zones, in different zaman, to assist the people of that zaman. Can you imagine if all of the great human beings, all of them, existed in the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam only? Then what's left for the rest of us? Right? I mean, do you think about it, right? What's left for the rest of us? Are we gonna be, amongst each other and be lousy human beings? If no one to help us and no one to guide us and no one to show us the way. So no, of course not. Of course not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fair. And so while human beings as a whole will, degenerate, and will get worse and worse, any generation after generation, yes, it is from the hadith, but every generation there will be those people. And Allah has reserved these souls, these great souls of human beings, these human beings who are the caliber of Sahaba. Allah has reserved them to manifest later. And they manifest to assist the Ummah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and to bring them back to the way of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then, like an example of one of these people is Imam al-Haddad. Imam al-Haddad, like he is really caliber of Sahaba. Right? Imam al-Haddad with his Iman, his Amal, and everything about him, of the caliber of the Sahaba, right? But Allah Subhanahu wa Taala made him, manifest in the world later, right, to assist us, right, to assist the people of his zaman, and thereafter, right, subhanallah, so in our zaman that we have Habib Umar, right, who is, like later, he comes in our zaman, and we're so grateful that, in our zaman there are of the scholars who hold on to the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is from the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that every 100 years there will be people who are the mujaddidun. They are those who will renew the religion and bring it back to the original teachings. Right? They are the ones. Right? Every 100 years, there are people who will be doing this. Right? And necessarily so, because otherwise the ummah is just going to go downhill. And we need people out there who are beacons of light, right? Showing us what is right with clarity in a very confused world. Habib of Quranani, who basically was the one who wrote down the science of Iqtahawulat. He's one of them. And he gave us so much clarity, with regards to the media, with regards to the world, with regards to history, with regards to so many things. He gave us so much clarity, right? And called us to guidance, right? Al-Habib. And of course, there are many of the mashayikh, of the scholars in the world from other, I would say from other cultures as well. But for me personally, I always quote from Hadramaut because this is where I study. But I'm sure if I were to go to other countries, other parts of the world, like Morocco, if I go to Sham, Syria, Palestine is full of them. So many of the great people in Palestine, right, of the awliya there. Like they're all over the world. They're all over the world. Of course, in Asia, they are there. You go to Africa, plenty of them. Right, they're all around. Right, they're all around. These people, they're all around. Right, and they are there. They're placed there. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has placed their soul in our zaman, right, to help people of our zaman. So if you can find these people, who walk the way of the Sahaba, and they're walking the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they do not, fear any blame of any of the blamers out there, anyone who criticizes them. They don't care. They don't care whoever criticizes them. They're not affected by these people. You see these people, they are so firm. You know what they are, hold on to them. That's the first group, okay? The first group. You find these people, khalas, you're gonna attach yourself to them. Right? You're gonna follow them whatever they say. Right? And they are the ones who are gonna be on the day of judgment, you'll be so grateful that you found these people, and you'll be so grateful that you followed them. Okay. The second group of person, right? So the first one is like you say, they're called, in the Quran as-sabiqun as-sabiqun, right? They are sabiqun as-sabiqun. They're the first, the foremost, right? The best of them, right? In the hadith in the Tahawlat, right? The first group of people, right? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, in the end of times, human beings or his ummah, the ummah will be afflicted, right, by a severe affliction, right, severe affliction, right, from the authorities, the Ummah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the Rasulullah said, none will survive this affliction except three. Right. So here in the Hadith, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he identifies three of them, right, three groups of them. Right. Why is it Habib group the human beings to four groups here, while in the hadith there were three groups? Because the hadith speaks about three groups who will survive the end of times, meaning that there's goodness in them. The fourth group is the one that has evil in them, of course. Those who will not survive the end of times, they have evil in them. Right. So, of course, the first group that the Habib mentioned is a person who knows the religion. If you go back to the Hadith in Fiqh Hawlan, is a person who knows the religion with his heart and his hands and his tongue. Like he knows, he is like a walking, like, he's just walking the religion. His entire being is the religion. Like he's just, all of him just speaks about the religion, subhanallah. And so these are and Habib mentioned and Rasulullah Sallallahu mentioned, it is these people, they have, that is all written for them, they are the best of the best. Okay, second group of people, شخص عرف الحق وآمن به. This sounds like the second group, the second group of people who are in the hadith that we mentioned in Victor Hawlan. Right, it sounds, they are the same, right? Because Habib, mashallah, of course he's getting this from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the second group of people, a person, عرف الحق وآمن به. Right? They know the truth, they recognize what is true, and they believe in it. Right? So there is iman, there is iman. Many people can recognize the truth, but they don't believe in it. So this group of people, they recognize the truth and they believe in it. إلا أنه إيمان نائم فاتر يثقل عليه العمل بمقتضاه ويشق عليه البذل في سبيله، فهذا ندعوه إلى العمل والجد في سبيل مبدأ الحق الذي آمن به وارتضاه. Um, Right, so he says here, okay, this person, okay, and mashallah, the way Habib speaks, right? He is, okay, Habib is of the first group. He's of the first group. Which is why the first group, he says, we put our hand in here, we support him. He is from us, we are from them, right? In the sense that okay, Habib himself is of the first group. Okay, so for us, if which group are we in? Are we in group number two? Group number two is like, his faith is asleep. إلا أنه إيمانه Naim, his face is sleep and weak. He's just like very weak and in his sleep in his faith. In his faith, he's not acting on his faith. This guy, like he's very weak. He's doing things half-past. With regards to his prayer, his Quran, it's all not there. He believes, he knows Islam is true. He believes in the hereafter and everything, but he's overcome by his own nafs. And this person, right, overcome by their own second group. Ya Allah. Yeah, this guy actually in the hadith, in fact, Hawla is a third group. A third group of people, who they see the truth, they admire the people of the truth, they wish you could be like that. They're not, but they love Islam, they love the truth, but yeah, they're not there. They're struggling every day with their own selves. Those people. Basically us lah. Okay, me lah. I like, yeah. You see yourself. This is exactly my description. Exactly describing me. Ya Allah, it is difficult for him to act according to his beliefs, explain anything in his cause. Oh, so heavy on the earth, so heavy, so the nafs, so so desirous, still wanting their luxury, still wanting their stuff, still wanting their like still wanting to waste time, still wanting all this vanity, still, and they're still there, ya Allah, not improving, not waking up to the reality of the next world, still, dragging your feet on this religion, yani. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Right, so he says here, so for these people, right, for such a person, we call him towards practicing and striving in the power of truth which he has believed in and accepted. Right, it's basically saying it to ourselves, right? Call ourselves, first and foremost, call ourselves, right? Come on, practice. Come on, wake up before Fajr. Come on, you can do this. Right, wake up before Fajr. Pray a few rakats. Come on. Right, do a few pages of the Quran every day. It's not hard. You can do this, right? Push yourself. Okay, push yourself. You know what's right to do. You've been hearing it for how many years you've been hearing this. And how, really push yourself. Right? The world is, life is very short. It is very short. Right? Life is very short. Right? The hereafter is very long. Subhanallah. Our Zaman, they have this statement, what's it called? YOLO, YOLO. You only live once. That's not true. That's a false statement. You actually live twice. You live once in this world and once in the hereafter. Right. So only a foolish person believes that statement, and only a foolish person, mentions that statement. And only someone who does not believe in the hereafter says that statement. Come on, Muslims. I get so surprised whenever Muslims, put that kind of statements on their social media, YOLO, and then they go and do some random foolish thing. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And they say you only live once. No, you don't. Where's your iman? And where's your iman yawmul akhirah? And where's your iman in the next world? You don't live once, you live twice. You die, then you come to another world. Right? In fact, like Imam Haddad mentions the 5 lives of men. Five, and not one, five. 5 lives of men. Right? So it's not one life. Come on, it's not one life, it's 5 lives. Right? And people say, life is short. Do what you want to do. No, life is short. Prepare for here for akhirah. When you say life is short, not that do what we're going to do. No, life is short, but akhirah is long. Life is short in the dunya. Dunya is very short. Akhirah is very long. Like, so you gotta, get things down, subhanallah. The statement where people say, some people say it's a hadith, not hadith, right? Whereby, work for the dunya, okay, work for the dunya as if you will live forever, and work for the akhirah as if you'll die tomorrow. Have you heard that statement? Have you ever heard that statement? I work for the dunya, right? As if you will live forever, right? And work for the akhirah as if you will die tomorrow. And there's actually two interpretations to that statement. Do you know that? That I can just ask people and make people interact with me. What do you understand from that statement? It's a very interesting statement, right? And I've seen a different interpretation of the statement in one of the books, right? But I think people, the moment they hear that statement, right, they seem to have a different understanding of what the statement actually means. Right? So let's see, if people all, are you all with me? Come, let's see your response. Like, I make kids answer me all the time. I make adults answer me. Should make adults answer me. Don't unmute. It's okay, don't have to unmute. What does it mean? Work for the dunya as if you live forever and work for the akhirah as if you die tomorrow. What does that mean? If you all have heard that statement, if you all haven't heard that statement, then we're gonna end our class. Inshallah. It's already 7:30. Yeah. So what's the meaning? What's the meaning of that statement? It's not a hadith, It's not a hadith. It's just a statement of the righteous, of the wise people. What's the meaning of that statement? No one knows. No idea. Any clue? No clue. Nothing. Okay, tamam. This is one of the examples. One of the understandings. Strive in this world. For the akhirah. What do you mean by men have 5 lives? The book of Imam al-Haddad, you can find it, Lives of Men. It's translated in English. Right. Our 5 lives are basically the life that it was before we were born. We have a life before we were born, the life of the souls, right? Ruh. That life is when Allah created all the souls, right? And then He gathered the souls together. This is before the creation of the entire world. Our souls will be created. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called the souls to testify, is he not our Lord? And we all testify. And we took the covenant, the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come onto the earth and to do as Allah says, right? The second life of human beings, right, is the life of the womb, entering to the womb of your mother is a second life, right? So whereby you have not yet come to the world, but in this second life of the human being, your destiny is written. It's really been written in Allah's knowledge, from pre-eternity, of course, but written for you by the angels. Okay, the angels write it down for you, but it's already known, from before. The third life of the human beings is the dunya itself, right? The dunya itself here, right, where we're in, the third life of the human being, is a very short life, but based on this life, it determines the rest of your existence, right? And then the fourth life of the human being, life of the grave, right? So life of the grave. Um, in fact, the life of the womb and life of the world are together actually. Life of the womb and the life of the world are together. Different scholars separate it differently, and then you have the life of the grave, right, whereby you wait for the day of judgment, and in there is reward or there is punishment, and then you have the life of the day of judgment itself, right? There is a life itself, eh? The day of judgment is a life itself. The life of the grave and life of the day of judgment, right, and the life in the next world, each of them, they're all many times longer than the life of this world. Actually, you could be in the grave for thousands of years. You could be, in a day of judgment for thousands of years, right? Then eventually is to paradise forever or to the hellfire forever. Tamam. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, I did all that to give you a chance to answer my question. Come on, okay. All right, so let's see. Uh, how, how is the understanding of the statement? Okay, so basically, you say, like, work for the dunya as if you live forever, and work for the akhirah as if you die tomorrow. Okay, I see all your answers here. Right. Subhanallah, understand the statement. Understand the statement. Okay, so one interpretation of the statement is that work for dunya as if you live forever, meaning when you work for dunya, right, work hard as if you're going to have to earn enough, right, to survive forever, right? There is one of the interpretations of the statement. And when you work for dunya, give your best, like give your all, like as if you have forever to support. You get me? You have forever to live because you need to get the money or get the risk, right, to live forever. Like, and work for the akhirah, you'll die tomorrow, meaning work for the akhirah to the best that you can, right, to prepare for the day of judgment. You get me? So this statement is a statement of calling people to hard work. So I'm not so sure how you all, yani, how are you understanding the statement, right? But so one interpretation, right, is that this statement calls to hard work. It actually calls to hard work. Like work hard when you go into your dunyawi work, you give your best, as if you're gonna live forever. Right? So you work hard. Yeah, for example, if someone's a farmer, right? Okay, go all out, do your plantations, plant your trees, plant this, plant that, as if you're gonna live for 100 years, right? And you're gonna see that you're gonna reap the fruits of your labor. Get me? You get me? Right? You give your very best, right? As if you need to earn the kind of money because you're gonna live for 100, 200 years. You're gonna have to earn, right? The kind of thing, right? And then for your akhirah, as you die tomorrow, right? Which means that, like, if you're gonna pray now, pretend it's gonna be your last prayer. If you're told that from tomorrow onwards, you will be unable to speak at all. Today you spend all the time trying to recite the Quran, right? Because you're able to speak, right? So if you're told tomorrow you're gonna leave this dunya, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna drop all your dunyawi matters because there's no point in you working for dunya anymore because tomorrow you're gonna go to the akhirah, right? And so you're gonna put all your effort into the akhirah and strive the best you can. Correct. There's one understanding of this statement. There's one understanding. The other understanding of this statement, right? So yeah, so it's not about like dunya useful in dunya for akhirah. That's a good statement itself, but doesn't have any to do with this statement, right? Understand statements. Actually, I really want to teach logic. I'm so into logic right now. And logic is a very interesting science, and really I feel that people need to study logic to know statements, understand statements. Yani, get me? Um, tamam. So okay, tamam. Like so, okay, so then the other interpretation, I'm just seeing your answers. I'm seeing the answers here. The other interpretation of this statement is that, aywa, the other interpretation of this statement, right, is that um again, live work for this world as if you're gonna live forever, which means that worldly work or worldly things to do can be delayed. And work for the akhirah as you're gonna die tomorrow, that akhirah work cannot be delayed. That's the other interpretation. Like worldly work can be delayed, and you can postpone it. You can procrastinate it. Because you live to get forever, what? Right? So you like, for example, you want a car, you want a house. Maybe can be put off for a while, right? But your Quran, you want to get your Quran down. You want to read fluently, or can't be put off. The one can't be put off. You get me? Because akhirah matters can't be delayed. Because you're gonna die tomorrow. But the world, you have forever for the world. That's the interpretation of this meaning. Do you get me? Right. So if you treat the dunya as if you're gonna live forever, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna, figure this out about my house. Tomorrow I'm gonna figure this out about my like tomorrow you're gonna procrastinate because you have forever to figure out the dunya, you know. Then the dunya gets kind of like pushed aside. But akhirah becomes the priority because you don't have forever. You don't have time to procrastinate akhirah. That's the second interpretation of this statement. Do you understand? Is that how you get me? There are two statements. There are two interpretations of the statement, right? So one calls for full hard work in both ends, dunya and akhirah. The other one calls for prioritization, right? To prioritize akhirah always over dunya, right? So right now it's either you pray, right, or you what do you do in the dunya? Either you pray, right, or you cook. Ready, maybe. Yeah, you make some food. Right. Okay, breakfast. Go and breakfast. Okay, breakfast because dunya is prioritized. Right. It's apa? Akhirah. Akhirah is prioritized. Like akhirah go and breakfast. Right. You can make your food later. It's okay. It's okay. Right. Later you have more time. You have time to go and make your food. Later you can make your food. Right. But salat, no, now. Okay. So same thing. If all this work to do, right, but you have not done your Quran for the day, right? You've not done the Quran for the morning. That is prioritized. Do your Quran first. Right? Everything else wait. Put aside. Wait. Right? Do the Quran first. Okay. Like in Tarim, this no, we actually learn this very strongly in Tarim. You know why? No, I'm not saying, that's an analogy in Tarim because we always get electrical cuts here in Tarim, especially now in the summer. And we go without electricity, but I mean electricity for like a few hours every day. Like they cut for like 5 hours, 6 hours, they cut, right? And then it comes back on about maybe three hours, 4 hours, right? And people were saying this really makes us it puts us into shape, right, with regards to what is urgent, what's not urgent with regards to the electricity. So you can imagine this being placed in the way of the religion, right? Subhanallah, I'm saying that because a lot of things don't work when they cut off the electricity. Like you have no fridge, you have no washing machine, you have no, like a lot of things don't work when you have electricity, right? So you just so when it comes on, we straight away, we drop all of our work and we do what we need to do to make use of the electricity, basically. But basically to reflect on that, right? If we understood this, if we understood the method that your the angel of death is watching you, right, and if you can see the angel of death looking at you, right, straight away, how will your prioritization of your work in the day, right, be arranged? You get me? You get me? That's the meaning of that statement. Second meaning, there are two meanings, right? They're both applicable to the statement. Okay, so understand the statement. Understand the statement. Tamam. It's not. There's nowhere in the statement that speaks about dunya being a means of akhirah. No, like it actually it's a statement on being hardworking or a statement on being on knowing how to prioritize. Is this what the statement means? Okay, tamam. We will stop there on the second group of human beings, right? We should we all there, ya Allah. We find the first group lah. We can find the first group, and we attach ourselves to the first group, okay, and try to pull ourselves out of the second group of human beings. Inshallah, you're not a third group of human beings. Third group of human beings is like in a terrible state. And the fourth group of human beings is even worse. Imam Ghazali speaks about human beings as if like how, and he draws an analogy with food. Like some human beings, they're like a staple diet. You need them every single day. Like some human beings, they're like medicine. You need them once in a while. Some human beings, they are like bad food, right? They harm you, but they don't kill you. And some human beings, they're like poison. They destroy you. Right. So we're gonna see what is human beings around us and see who are we to other people. Are we the poison or maybe, inshallah no? Are we the bad food? The terrible, the junk food? Oh ya Allah. Inshallah no. Right. Are we the medicine once in a while we help people? Or are we the one who sustain people? Right, the staple diet. Inshallah. May Allah help us. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. أن الله يرزقنا من الخير وعملا خالصا وسعيدا ويسر شيخنا. Today we have his class, 10 o'clock. الفاتحة. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.